So I've mentioned anecdotes several times, and let's dig a little bit deeper in how anecdotes work for us and how we come up with them. So what is an anecdote? Basically, it's a short, amusing, or interesting story about a real incident or a person, and we tell them all the time. Every time you want to give someone an example of something that happened in your day or in your life, you're going to give them an anecdote. You're going to call your mom and you're going to tell them, she's going to say, "How was your day?" And you're going to say, "My day was great." And you're going to show her these things that happened. I got an A on my test, or I found $20 on the ground, or whatever it's going to be. That is the anecdote that supports the fact that your day was great. And we do the same thing in articles. When we interview people, we pull out these stories that they can tell us to bring facts to life. So in terms of what it looks like, I could tell you that the Alabama and Auburn game on November 30th, 2013 had an exciting finish, and you can envision in your mind what exciting means. Or I could say, holy cow, this Alabama guy missed a 57-yard field goal, and then this guy for Auburn caught the ball and ran it back 109 yards for a touchdown to win the game with no time on the clock. Now, that's a much clearer evidence of what was exciting, of how the game itself was exciting or that particular moment in the game. That is an anecdote that brings a fact to life. It's this idea of showing me. Show me, don't tell me. Show me the story that will help this fact come to life for me. Show me the person that will help this story come to life for me. Show me the main point so that I can see what the story is going to be about. So an anecdotal lead is a story that will drive us toward the facts presented in the theme. And here's an example. Moving around the big yellow kitchen lined with stainless steel ovens, prep tables, stacks of King Arthur flour, blocks of Cabot's butter, and bowls piled with chunks of rich, dark, Celebot chocolate, 43-year-old Vermont chef, farmer, and foodie entrepreneur Abby Duke inhaled the rich, buttery smell of holiday cookies cooling on the rack beside her and broke into a smile. "It's like a bake sale that happens 365 days a year," says Abby, waving a spatula toward the cookies. Period. Now here's what this takes us to. This is the theme. The huge mixer will be fired up, sugar crystals will be creamed into butter, and flour will fill the air. Then the delicate scent of orange blossoms will blend with the intensity of rich chocolate to entice every human within sniffing distance, and 3 local shelters for the homeless will have the heat on, the water running, and the light shining into winter darkness. So this is a story about this woman who bakes for a homeless shelter, and that's how we get from this lead into the theme paragraph. Let's take a look at another one. Ralph Richardson, DVM, wanted a relatively small dog that didn't shed, whose disposition fit with a busy family. So when Richardson, dean of Kansas State University's veterinary college, set out to get puppies for himself and his grandchildren, he ended up with a novel choice of pet, the Schnoodle. And then the rest of this goes on to explain what a Schnoodle is, and talking about these different aspects of these poodles mixed with other breeds. And now here's the transition and the theme. Are they here to stay or just a fad? That's the transition. Devotees predict the former, even as the most vocal detractors blast the trend and caution potential buyers against possible pitfalls. And then the rest of the story goes on to talk to us about why this trend occurs, what are some of the cautions and pitfalls, why do people love them, these types of dogs, why do people not love them. Remember, the anecdotal lead has to take you to the theme graph. You can't just tell us a story and then go off on a completely different direction when we get to the theme. We have to go in the direction of the theme with the story. Now, the way that we get these stories from our sources is by asking them good questions. So, we're going to talk quite a bit about interviewing, and you have the book, Always Get the Name of the Dog, which will show you examples of good interviewing and give you all kinds of great tips from very smart interviewers. But it's important to remember how we ask questions is how we get answers. So if I ask a question that's going to get me a yes or no answer or a single word, or I'm going to say, did you like this, or did you have a good day, or whatever it was going to be, you're not going to get anecdotes. You have to ask people to describe things. You have to ask them, what were you feeling when this happened? Can you walk me through this particular situation? Give people the opportunity to tell you those stories, and they will tell them so that you can tell them to the reader.